Hey everybody, welcome back to a max velocity weather forecast, and today what we're going over is that severe weather potential for both today and tomorrow across portions of the central, northern plains, and as well as the Midwest and even New England. We'll get to the threats, the timing, and intensity of all these storms. Let's hop right into it. So as of right now, there is a slight risk of severe weather that does include far southwestern South Dakota, eastern Wyoming, and extreme northern Nebraska. There's also a marginal threat that covers a lot more area. It includes western Nebraska, western Kansas, eastern Colorado. There's also a marginal threat that runs from Kansas all the way over into the Midwest that actually extends all the way over into Indiana, and there's also that slight risk, a little bit better look at it for those in southwestern South Dakota. Main threats today will be damaging winds and maybe a little bit of large hail. Damaging winds will likely be the main threat though today. Here's a look at the timing for those in Colorado. This afternoon we'll start to see some storms bubble up near Colorado Springs. That'll eventually go off to the east, eventually by about 5-6 o'clock mountain time. Those storms are moving off into eastern Colorado. Again, damaging winds most likely going to be the main threat out here. You can see some damaging wind threats there, maybe north of Lamar. Eventually by 9 to 10 o'clock, a lot of that storm activity will move out of the state, eventually heading into areas like South Dakota as well. South Dakota will see a bit more of a discrete supercell action develop right around 5 to 6 o'clock. You can see maybe a storm or two developing in possibly northwestern South Dakota, also southwestern South Dakota will probably have a better chance just south of Rapid City. Eventually by 7 to 8 o'clock, storms will really still on go. You can see this is the main area of storms most likely to develop in South Dakota tomorrow evening. Eventually by 9 to 10 o'clock, storms moving through Pierre, eventually going off to the east, riding right along the interstate, going towards Brookings, and eventually by about 2 and 3 in the morning, most of those storms will move off to the east. Severe weather overall with those storms, mainly just going to be damaging winds up until that point. Here's a look at the timing for Nebraska. You can see by 6-7 o'clock, storms again near Chadron, if I'm saying the name right. Eventually by 8 to 9 o'clock, storms again moving off to the east and northern portions of Nebraska. By about 10 to 11, 12 o'clock, storms moving again off to the east. Eventually going to the overnight hours, they will continue to push off to the east, going into eastern portions of Nebraska. Again, the main threats there will probably still be damaging winds and maybe some isolated large hail. Here's a look at the timing for Kansas as well. We might see some storm activity as early as the mid to late afternoon hours across central portions of Kansas, possibly going towards Manhattan around 7 to 8 o'clock in the evening. Eventually going to the overnight hours, we'll still have some shower and storm activity ongoing. A lot of that will not be severe, but if there's anything still remaining, definitely don't rule out some gusty winds. Here's a look at the overall outlook for Saturday. There is a slight risk of severe weather for areas like Massachusetts, Rhode Island, as well as Connecticut. It goes through southeastern New York as well as eastern Pennsylvania and northern New Jersey. Main threats, again, going to be probably damaging winds and maybe a little bit of large hail. Here's a look at the timing. 9, 10 o'clock, we'll start to see some storms develop probably as early as noontime near areas like Springfield, Ulster, and as well as Boston and Lowell. Those areas will start to see some storms develop by 1 to 2 o'clock. Most of the potent storms will be going through eastern Massachusetts around those times. You can see some more storm activity near Brentwood and maybe even near Bridgeport. And eventually going into the later afternoon hours, most of those storms will be moving off to the east. Here's a look at the timing for northern New England. So you can see by 6, 7 o'clock, some showers and maybe some isolated rumbles of thunder are possible during those times. Might see a couple of strong storms during the afternoon hours in central and eastern Maine, but overall threats seem to be pretty minimal with that. Again, we'll keep you updated the latest here on our YouTube page. No, we'll have very limited live streams through July 5th, but they will return to normal July 6th. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Make sure to like video. I would really appreciate it. This forecast is brought to you by Platinum Contracting and All Dents Repair.